Maybe you're parenting a child with emotional dysregulation or intense meltdowns, maybe even ADHD or DMDD, and you've promised yourself you won't yell again. Unfortunately, you keep finding yourself raising your voice anyway, and you know this isn't the parent you wanted to be. Well, this episode is for you because the real question isn't how do I get my child to calm down? It's how do I stay calm when I'm overwhelmed too? So grab your notebook because this is gonna be good. Are you overwhelmed by constant meltdowns, defiance, or challenging behaviors? Are you longing for peace in your home? You're in the right spot. I'm Jamie, mom of 7, counselor, parent coach, and wrangler of big emotions. I've learned how to calm the chaos and build connection, even when things feel like they're falling apart. If you're looking to connect with your child, find effective parenting tools that honor your family values and understand your child's unique wiring, you found it here. So pour that coffee, find a quiet spot if you have one of those in your house, and let's get started. Your anxiety rises, your palms get sweaty, your head feels like it might explode, and in that moment, the thoughts flood in. How can I stop this? I can't believe it's happening again. Things are never going to be different. We've dealt with this before. He's just being defiant, or why is she just disrespecting me? And if we could clear away all the noise and frustration of that moment, what parents are usually wanting is to be heard, to feel understood, and yes, even to regain control of a moment that feels like it's spinning out of control. And we may think that if we yell, we'll be heard, we'll have a better shot at being understood, or that we can stop things from spinning out of control. But yelling rarely solves anything at all. Instead, we yell and we create more problems, a whole nother layer of problems, and then we feel guilty for yelling. Nothing is resolved. The moment only feels heavier. We've modeled something that we didn't want to model for our child, and now we're carrying shame on top of stress. Here's the truth. When we yell, it's usually a sign that our nervous system is overloaded. That's right, just like our child. When their system overloads, they resort to methods that aren't effective and usually aren't appropriate. Well, sometimes so do we. Parenting a child with ADHD, DMDD, or emotional dysregulation is neurologically exhausting. You live in a subtle state of hypervigilance, listening for the first shift in tone, watching for the smallest signal, hoping you say the right thing at the right time, wishing you could do just the right thing. You carry the stress of the day, and as stress accumulates, frustration rises. As overwhelm increases, tolerance decreases. As pressure builds, those coping skills shrink. And then comes the tipping point. You're operating in the red. Overloaded, overstimulated, overwhelmed. Just like your child, when your lid flips, your logic disappears. Communication suffers, and problem solving shuts down. Willpower loses its power when the nervous system feels under threat. So no amount of willpower can stop it when your system is already dysregulated. And then shame adds another layer. Shame only wires the brain for more negative emotion, not more calm. So if you're realizing you've been running on empty, that matters. Support for parents matters too. And that's why I created this. You know you need to learn effective ways to handle your child's big emotions and challenging behaviors. But it feels like it's going to take so much time, money, and energy that you just don't have. Thankfully, that's not the case. The Calm Connection Parent Coaching Program will show you how to understand your child's wiring, calm the intense emotions, and manage those challenging behaviors with simple tools that actually work. Think of it as your shortcut. No more endless hours of research, expensive appointments, or sleepless nights worrying if things will ever get better. This is just what you've been waiting for, and quite possibly the answer to your prayers. Let's arm you with the best tools to help you parent your child to be all they were created to be. Join me at calmconnectionparent.com. And let's get you back to the peaceful, loving, joy-filled family life you imagined. It's easier than you think, and you don't have to do it alone. Now let's talk about what actually helps. And I want to encourage you to think of it like the traffic light that moves from green when everything's going well to yellow when you have to use a little bit of caution and you better look out, or red when you just need to stop so accidents don't happen. First, learn to notice when you're moving from green to yellow. Yellow might feel like frustration starting to rise, anxiety that's building internally, that dread starting to creep in. You might start feeling unheard. You might start trying to talk over your child. Red feels like urgency, panic, anger. You feel disrespected. You assume your child is being defiant. You may even think they dislike you, or worse. It feels intense because it is intense. So what do? You regulate yourself first. Not in a dramatic way, and most likely not perfectly. Just acknowledge what you're feeling. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling nervous this is about to escalate. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I am feeling overstimulated and need some quiet. Validation is the first step toward regulation. Then remind yourself, we set the tone. Use the powerful pause. And in that moment where you are slowing yourself down and just pausing, I want you to repeat this phrase in your head. My child is not giving me a hard time. He is having a hard time. This shift alone helps move you from anger into curiosity, from control into connection. Then keep your words simple. If it involves your child, you might say something like, I see that you're really upset. I notice you're angry at me. No lecture, no correction, just simply observation. If the issue is about you, you might say something like, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I need a break. Or, I'm feeling kind of angry. I think I'm going to go get a drink and come back in just a couple minutes. Modeling that break is powerful. It gives you space to breathe, drink water, reset, and re-engage calmly. Now, what do you do if you do yell? Well, if you mess up and you do yell, don't throw in the towel, don't give up, and don't just keep going because you already blew it. Stop yourself, use that powerful pause, and remember, repair is one of the most powerful life skills you can model. You can stop yourself and say, I was overwhelmed. I'm sorry I yelled. Let's try that again. Or, yikes, I yelled. Can I have a do-over? That teaches how to regroup, how to take responsibility, how to ask forgiveness, how to repair relationships. And those are lifelong skills that your child is going to need. Your child mirrors your nervous system. When you approach calmly, they attempt to match that. That's called co-regulation. Co-regulation is more powerful than correction. Correction in threat mode doesn't teach. In other words, when your child's brain is already dysregulated, it feels like it's under threat. So when you approach them trying to correct them or correct the situation, it tends to make them feel more threat, and they aren't able to learn in that moment. Calm, however, teaches. Predictable calm reduces meltdowns over time because your child learns what to expect from you. Safety increases, trust increases, and your child's flexibility increases. Now, this might feel hard for you, and you may struggle with this because maybe you didn't see this modeled growing up. Perhaps you had a yelling parent. Maybe your own body budget is overloaded all the time. Maybe you lack some adequate self-care to refresh, to rejuvenate, to fill your cup. Maybe you struggle because you're carrying too much alone. You're not failing. You just need support that matches your level of challenge. And sometimes accountability is an important missing piece to the puzzle. So think of what kind of support you might need for the challenges you face in parenting. Now, what about that quick win for the week? This week, I want you to identify one moment when you feel upset and catch it early. Then calmly identify it. You might say, I'm feeling frustrated, or I feel overwhelmed right now. There's a common saying that I really like. It's name it to tame it when it's still small enough to manage. That's it. I'm going to say that one more time. Name it to tame it when it's small enough to manage. That's it. You release steam early. You model emotional awareness, and you teach your child how to communicate before erupting, how to express their feelings in appropriate ways, how to ask for what they need without losing control. And these small shifts create big change. When we parent high-need, emotionally intense children, stress accumulates. And when support falls through, closed doors pile up, and discouragement builds, the load gets heavier. Parent regulation keeps the load manageable. But what happens when you're doing your best and doors still close? That's what we're talking about in our bonus episode this week. Because sometimes strength isn't just staying calm. It's knowing when and how to seek support. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. If you've been yelling more than you want to, if you've been yelling at all and that's not the parent you want to be, it doesn't mean you're a bad parent. It means your nervous system has been carrying more than it was meant to carry alone. Parenting a child with emotional dysregulation, ADHD, DMDD, or intense meltdowns is demanding. It stretches your patience, your stamina, and sometimes your confidence. But awareness is the first shift. The moment you start noticing your own yellow light, you've already started changing the pattern. You don't have to do this perfectly. You just have to keep showing up, learning, repairing, and growing. And you don't have to do it alone. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to join us inside the Calm Connection Parenting Facebook group. That's where we continue these conversations. We share practical tools and support one another through the real-life moments of parenting emotionally intense and neurodivergent kids. We'll also be sharing more details there about our exciting upcoming Calm Connection Parenting Summit, including speakers, topics, and special opportunities you won't want to miss. So come join us, ask your questions, share your wins, and get the encouragement you need. Because when parents feel supported, children can feel more secure. And when you regulate first, you're not just preventing meltdowns. You're building trust, resilience, and connection that lasts. I hope today's episode gave you a breath of fresh air, maybe a bit of hope too. If this encouraged you, would you please take a moment to follow and leave a quick review? It helps this much-needed message of calm and connection reach more families. And if you're looking for additional resources, be sure to visit calmconnectionparenting.org and check out the podcast tab. There you'll find a variety of free resources waiting just for you. Until next week's episode, take a deep breath, grab that fresh cup of coffee, and remember, you've got this. And on the days you don't, well, we're in it together.